Yeah, yeah. Glitch to guarantee. 2020 got me seeing so clear. Let me get to it. Glitch, nigga, for shit I do on these beats, nigga, I'm legendary. Niggas get to acting like bitches, okay, they Tyler Perry. Hide the women and kids, shit about to get very scary. Sticky bandits creep while you home alone like Marvin Harry. Up in smoke for real, nigga, I'm blowing heavy. Rolling up be all that I need, it be my method Mary. All my niggas be locked and loaded, we mercenaries. Type of gas I got in this blood will make your vision blurry. I'm in the clouds a lot, I make the pilots worry. Turns out the shit is my fight song, like Katy Perry. Ready for war, soon as I hit the door. I'm ballin', nigga, I'm Kobe as soon as I hit the floor. Taking every shot, shoot that bitch till I score. Hall of Fame bars, I'm Barry Sanders and more. The way I spit this shit, you niggas better take note. The guarantee, when you see me, know I'm up to smoke. Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
I ain't trying to hear that BS. Please spare me a lecture. I was made to be a diamond because I was born out of pressure. My dad was a G, but the drugs got the best of them. Some grind on their own while others might invest in you. Just long as you plant the seed and grow it like a vegetable. Everything will happen when it's supposed to, like a schedule. Every day I thank God and try to add another decimal. A pretty face is cool, but I need an intellectual. Making moves in silence really speaks the highest decibels. They always said the loudest in the room was the biggest fool. When I go up in the booth, close my eyes and see the visual. Not butcher boys, but trust me, it's about to get critical. Johns, yeah, we slid a few, knocked them off casually. You claim you on my level, but really that's a fallacy. You still waiting on handouts, that's such a travesty. You're not even amongst my stars, let alone the galaxy.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
Sick positioning, running shit commissioning. You ain't seeing us, not sure what you're envisioning. We still winning, you in danger and it's imminent. Bunch of sticks outside, walking like picketing. E&E, on fire, man, we sizzling. Leave the scene flickering, damn, it's sickening. No witnesses, damn, all that soliciting. We pack a rainstorm, man, you niggas drizzling. Still riding hot like cars, no air conditioning. Yeah, still blowing loud pack while you whispering. Handicap flow, leave them crippling. Sick discipline, all in my penmanship. How you rate your bars? Insignificant. I stand behind my bars like imprisonment. Glitch to guarantee 2020 C division. There's nothing to lose if you always win.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
Yeah. What up? You already know it's a brother, your brother, man. We're back here on our early side. We're going to get to it. Smash that like button to this popular page. Fear on yourself for engineering. You need. That's the track right there off of my brother Glitch to Guarantee. E&E every day, all day, no days off of his album Up in Smoke, featuring my brother Naw Shiz, my brother Rain Man. You feel me? And I think this track, I think my man Glitch was prophetic when he came up with the concept for this song. You know what I'm talking about? Considering what's going on in Los Angeles right now, you know? First and foremost, you know, all praises be to the Most High God, Yeshua HaMashiach, rest in the essence to anybody who may have lost their lives up until this point as a result of this tragic situation. And on top of that, prayers go out to everybody in LA, any surrounding areas that may be affected by this. May, you know what I'm saying, the Most High protect y'all and cover y'all as y'all, you know, make a transition into, you know, potentially maybe losing all your life property. I mean, not your life, but losing your property and your belongings, you know, whatever the situation may be, into the fires. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my man, shout out to my brother Glitch for making this song. Because, you know what I'm saying, he made this song back in 2020. And here we is all these years later, man. And LA is up in smoke, you know, right now, man. And it's crazy because, you know, it's a lot of controversy surrounding this. This is a fire that's been raging for the past few days. And, you know, although wildfires is something that happen quite regularly in California, I don't think they happen in LA like this. Not to my knowledge, anyway. Right? You already know what it is, man. How everybody doing today, man? We all woke up. Whenever we woke up earlier, we've been awake ever since, and it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't wake up today. And 9 times out of 10, wherever we did wake up, it ain't up in smoke. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who made it out of LA safe and sound, regardless of the loss of property and belongings and things like that. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole new situation with people needing aid. And, you know, the area where most of this stuff happened at, man, wasn't even, you know what I'm saying, close to anywhere that's worth mentioning. I mean, or anywhere that actually care about. All this fire happening in areas where very prominent people stay at. You know, this ain't just no regular area, you know? The imagery that I've been looking at, this is it's just devastating. You hear me? It's devastating. Seriously, y'all, man. Anybody out there in LA, man, y'all get up out of there if you can. Get up out of there as soon as possible, as safe as possible. You know, I'm pretty sure there's been a major loss of property. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it doesn't be a major loss of life. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get to it, man, because you know, with situations like things, you already know what you already know the so-called conspiracy theories are abound right now. You know what I'm saying? But make no mistake about it, it's going down. You can believe it's going down in California, man. Right? Let's go live from the scene right now.
And there have been hundreds of law enforcement, sheriff's deputies patrolling these evacuation zones. You can see they are now getting help from the California National Guard stepping in to help with wildfire efforts in the area. And this is one of about a dozen of these armored military vehicles that we've seen in the area this morning. 400 guard members have now been deployed to assist law enforcement with traffic control and securing these fire zones. This comes as 20 people have been arrested for looting in these evacuated areas between Wednesday night and Thursday morning.
So while the fires is going on, people are looting. Right? Imagine this, man. Imagine this, man. The whole city is ablaze. The whole city is ablaze. right? The whole city is ablaze. In the midst of the blaze, you got goofy people, dope things, all right? You got these crazy people out here looting. Out here trying to steal them some shit. They're out here trying to steal some shit, man. While the fires is going, man. Now this is crazy, man.
Good morning, Robert Luna, Sheriff of Los Angeles County. Currently, we have well over 400 sheriff's personnel that are still actively deployed to the fires in addition to our north.
Pay attention to the language, man. Pay attention to the language. When they use words like deploy, right? Now pay attention to the language. When they use words like deploy, deploy is a military term. I want y'all to understand that. That is a military term. So when you hear them in the lamestream media talking about drones have been deployed, personnel have been deployed, and they don't specify what type of personnel, it's because anybody who's in the know that when they use terminology like deploy, deploying, deployed, deploys, that is a military term. Meaning, if something is being deployed, that means that there is a state of war going on to some extent. That means that there's military action in action. If they're deploying or about to deploy anything, whether it be drones, personnel, or another word for troops, soldiers, right? Y'all better understand this language, y'all. I'm just telling you, so y'all pay attention when you hear certain words, man. When they talk about it, whenever you hear them say the word deploy, I want y'all to understand it is a military operation at hand. I want y'all to understand that and what the implications of that means. You know? Let's go.
Staffing for patrol-related functions throughout the county of Los Angeles. Deputies continue to assist our residents with evacuations. They are performing a lot of humanitarian missions. So many stories to share, don't have time right now. Providing food and blankets to people, rescuing people who, unfortunately, did not evacuate when they were asked to. So you've heard it over and over up here. A lot of the stories of heroic actions by our deputy sheriffs, police officers, or firefighters, a lot of them are taking place from people who did not choose to evacuate, putting their own lives at risk. So please, if you're asked to evacuate, because it's not only your life you're putting in danger. We continue to conduct roving patrols, manning hard road closures, providing security in evacuation areas to prevent anyone who may be tempted to engage in criminal behavior like looting. It was mentioned earlier before by the supervisor, and I'm going to make this crystal clear to everybody out there. Over last night and this morning, we are up to 20 individuals who chose to go into our areas and deprive these poor people who have been through so much of their property. Absolutely unacceptable. And I'm going to give direction to our department members. As you know, when we have an evacuation order by law, if you remain in that area, you are guilty of a misdemeanor. If you commit certain crimes, it could jump up to a felony. I'm going to be asking our employees to start enforcing that. That is very different than a curfew. Why? Because it's 24/7. I don't have to wait for the sun to go down or the sun to come up. If you are in one of these areas and you do not belong there, you are going to be subject to arrest. I
want y'all to pay attention to that. I want y'all to pay attention to that. This means that we're under a military occupation. I want y'all to understand that. This is proof that LA is currently under military occupation. Meaning, to some extent, without publicly saying it, it is a state of national emergency where the military has to intervene and take over. Because the local fire department, the local policing department, they can't handle this. Too much civil unrest. HR 1955, violent radicalization. Looting during the LA wildfires is violent radicalization. I want y'all to understand this, man. This is the reason why I talk about HR 1955 so much over here, because it expands so vastly. Everything that is happening in the media right now that they report to us is not only ideologically based violence, and not only are they using the internet to spread this stuff, which then in turn violently radicalizes people, turning them into then homegrown terrorists, looters. Y'all got to peep the play what's being set up here, man. Now, the LA fires, man, in themselves, man, like I say, man, it kind of takes me back to a couple years ago. Some of y'all might have forgot about this, right? It takes me back to some years ago in the same region, right? Same region, right? And I'm starting to hear a lot of the same similar things, man. I'm seeing a lot of the same similar imagery. Right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Now, the images y'all seeing on the screen right now, this isn't LA that I'm showing y'all. These are the fires that happened, I want to say back in 2016. Right? My 2018, right? Y'all remember the fire in Paradise, California that they claim was started due to a combination of strong winds, dry vegetation, and a faulty transmission line in somebody's alleged car? Y'all remember this happened about 7 years ago? Right? And they said that a faulty gas line from Pacific Gas and Electric allegedly erupted or had a short in it or whatever. And this is what sparked the fire in Paradise, California. Another area where it's very wealthy Hollywood actors, writers, directors, all that type of stuff. Right? The very same thing that was going on in Paradise is going on in California 9. In Paradise, there were reports of blue beams being shot from something out of the sky, which were actually causing the fires. Look at the damage from Paradise. This is the damage in Paradise. Right? As you can see, they look very similar to what's going on in the Palisades. Right? Look at the fire damage from Paradise. Whole communities burnt to the ground. Right? Entire cities. Right? But you got to pay attention to the imagery. Right? You have to pay attention to these pictures. Right? Now, this is all from Paradise right here. You feel me? All of these imageries that I'm showing, this is all from Paradise, California. About 7 years ago. Right? Hold on real quick. Man, this is crazy, y'all, man. Right? This is wild, y'all, man. This is Paradise, California right here. Right? Mr. O, what's happening, Joe? This is the fire damage from Paradise, California. Right? Right? Now here's the damage. This is not LA right here. I'm showing y'all. This is Paradise, California. Right? This is like a whole 2 states away, way farther up north. California is where this happened at, right? Look at the damage, right? In Paradise, California, they had whole entire cars burnt to the ground, right? Whole entire homes burnt to the ground, but the trees were still standing, right? This is Paradise, California, roughly 7 years ago. Northern California, about 7 hours and some change from LA. Right? Now here we have the Palisades or LA. You know? You know? Look very similar. Right? You got fires right here in the ring. Man, I'm telling y'all, man. My Lord, man. My Lord, my Lord. Right? 2025 starting off crazy, right? Got the whole city of LA on fire, literally. The whole city of LA is on fire right now, man. And y'all know the conspiracies is going on crazy, right? And I want to speak on something that I'll be touching on a lot when I talk to y'all about these climate action and resilient plans, man. I'll be talking to you about the climate action and resilient plans, man. Oh, and extreme heating events is definitely part of California, or should I say LA's climate action and resilient plan.
I'm loving this live betting on draft.
Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Share on your social engineer.
Video showing the absolute devastation in the Pacific Palisades. Footage reveals mile after mile of scorched earth where beautiful homes once existed. The devastation is complete and just jaw-dropping. Officials now say thousands of structures have burned to the ground. Today, the Pacific Palisades is still on fire. The frustration, of course, is for firefighters. It's like a giant game of whack-a-mole. You never know where the fire is going to hopscotch. Hours ago, this house was fine, but it caught fire this morning. The entire house was decimated by flames. Dramatic footage shows a cliffside home engulfed in towering flames. It's a total loss. But less severe wind conditions did allow firefighters to finally gain the upper hand, launching water drops from helicopters to save the heart of Hollywood. Fury is growing today over the lack of water supply that has hindered firefighters as they battle fires around Los Angeles. Our neighbor's house is going up. We're going up. There's no water. This homeowner is irate as he records his house going up in flames while his 84-year-old father and his daughter try to douse the fire with a garden hose. Suddenly, he says, the water stops. There's no water. I can't save my house.
He tried his best, but the water literally stopped. Not one fire trap.
Today, I found actor Steve Guttenberg with a shovel, putting out hot spots on his neighbor's property. When I grabbed a hose to help, I discovered no water. Well, there's no water. Steve, there's no water. Was the water turned off recently, or is it just no pressure? There's no water at all up here. At a press conference, LA's Mayor Karen Bass was hit with a barrage of questions about reports of fire hydrants running out of water.
The water problems are a little better now because the winds are such that we can go up and have the air support. And you know that that was the reason that the devastation was so bad, the unprecedented wind.
No water. Extreme heating events, extreme drying or drought events, and extreme wind events. Not to mention extreme geographical movement events or earthquakes. All of these are part of LA and surrounding areas climate action and resilient plan. And these are the environmental climate situations that we will be subject to if we don't upgrade our infrastructure strong enough, fast enough to be linked and synced to the smart grid. And as a result of the city not doing that in a timely enough fashion, we get hit with the weather weapons. Because this is what the climate action and resilient plans are really all about. They're not so much telling us that that we're messing up our environment, which we are, which then has an effect on the climate. It doesn't. And they're trying to impose these laws on us right? That's going to tax us, for one, and two, strip us of our rights, especially when it comes to ownership of properties. By using threats to the environment, disguised as threats to the climate in order to scare us into acquiescing with their demands from this thing that I talked to y'all about called UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. And through compartmentalization, through each and every facet of every government on this planet, the United Nations has monkey-footed their way in, right, into the deciding process of how people go about running their property, maintaining their properties when they have ownership over property land. So when we see stuff like what's going on in California, again, right, we can look at it as a big land grab, right? We could chalk it up to something like due to it being a drought, because we've been messing up the environment so much, right? Using the water to grow food, when we can, instead of using thousands and millions of gallons of water to grow food, which is then grown with pesticides. Y'all gotta peep the play, man. Peep what's going on. This is going to be a way to impose genetically modified food that doesn't need water. Therefore, there's no need to have pesticides to spray that leak into the groundwater supply, right? There's no need for, y'all got to peep the play. Everything happens in unison to bring about certain situations that can be used, right, to trick us, scare us, manipulate us into going along with the contingency plans that they already got mapped out. Now think about the area where this is happening at, right? This is the area where affluent writers, directors, actors, movies, music, all of that. This is where all these people stay at. And a lot of these people possibly, potentially, could be involved with what Sean Combs got going on, as much as well as others. We ain't gonna put it all on Sean like he's just the big bad guy. No, he's a small fish in a big pond. He's a guppy. He ain't even a guppy, right? So I want y'all to take that into consideration, man, and understand that when it comes to this fire, these fires, when these situations happen, it's definitely an agenda behind it, and there's definitely way more to it than what we're being told, right? Tap in, walk with us, smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineer, man. This is wild watching this, man.
Let's take a closer look, shall we, at some of the consequences. We've just heard them, but we can see them as well through satellite imagery. Here on the left, buildings on Marathon Road, Altadena. You can see the swimming pools, people's ordinary homes, ordinary lives. All of that completely changed, completely decimated, completely burned. The swimming pools there, blackened. The homes blackened, the buildings destroyed. Here on the left, we can see Fair Oaks Avenue, also in Altadena, a very similar scene. Ordinary, typical homes. Here, the satellite image obscured for the most part by the smoke, but you can see these pockets of flame that were people's houses in exactly the same place. Let's move south, shall we, to Pacific Palisades. We've talked so much about it. These are homes along Tuna Canyon. You can see the canyon above. The homes and the cars along the highway there. All of these homes completely destroyed. One, possibly two, possibly still intact. One of them definitely still on fire. Let's show you the ground level situation. We heard from Patricia about her home, about her neighbours' homes. She knows that many of them were destroyed. It will be scenes like this for so many people in the region. This is the coastal highway. You can see here the flames of where this building was. You can see these light areas. This is the picket fence that is also in the front of that shot. The consequences of an ongoing natural disaster. And it's not just homes, it's businesses too. This, a local branch of Chase Bank. The roof, the windows, everything gone. The same consequences have also taken hold at an Altadena community church. That white church turned into a blackened ruin. And there's no respite for famous landmarks either. Here's Sunset Boulevard's buildings destroyed and stained by smoke.
Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
I just have to say, I've never seen anything like this here. I grew up in Southern California. This is like nothing we've ever seen, with multiple fires raging across the LA region right now. And here in Malibu, it's truly an apocalyptic scene. We're on the Pacific Coast Highway right now, where home after home after home, beachfront properties are engulfed in flames. I am looking at a mansion right now, a beach view mansion up in the hills that's just basically exploded. And the reason we're separated from my crew right now is because we had just gone a little bit down the road to scope something out, and we turned around and there was then a live wire that had power line had fallen, and a live wire was blocking.
So here we go with the stories of the live wire. Here we go. It's paradise all over again. Right? Paradise all over again. And I mean Paradise, California, about 7 hours north of LA. The whole entire city destroyed. Right? They said it was because of ruptured gas lines owned by Pacific Gas and Electric, which is damn near the entire West Coast energy company. Either that or Southern Edison Electric, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Allegedly in Paradise, it was due to a droughted season, due to ruptured, unmaintained power lines, due to gusty wind weather situations. The wind fanned the flames, and it's just the same thing over and over again, right? What happened in Paradise? Who lived in Paradise, right? What was going on at the time, 2018, in our country, right? That we ain't about to go through all that because today is about today. Do your due diligence. What happened in the city of Paradise, right? But today is very similar, or the current situation is very similar. And at a time where so much is going on in LA with the illegal immigration situation, with the situations with Gavin Newsom, right? The whole thing with the distraction with the rap music and all of that crazy stuff, you know. Not to mention, right, what's going on in the music industry. All of this stuff going on is happening at the same time to distract us from what's actually going on, which is the consolidation of everything. Right? Now, you know that conspiracy theories are abound already. You already know they are. And we wouldn't be a Real Talk podcast if we didn't get to it, man. You know what I mean? Because you know the conspiracies abound already, right? You know? You got people saying this is a biblical situation. This is, you know? Listen, man.
Nothing brings us together.
Destruction is vast already.
Always so fresh and delicious, plus superior nutrition. For us,
Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page.
they're the best. Eggland's best.
Reality of this unprecedented destruction, emergency doesn't begin to tell the story. Dry weather and winds of up to 100 miles an hour turning into disastrous and a deadly combination.
The death toll is also rising. At least 5 people have now been killed in the fast-moving fire so far. More than 50,000 people have been forced to flee as the homes and buildings burned to the ground. Many people who tried to escape quickly were forced to abandon their cars, making it even harder for firefighters to reach the burning homes.
There are actually 5 separate and huge fires burning in one of the most populated areas of the country right now. And take a look at what sunrise looked like in LA today. It is just heartbreaking, and really frightening. Josh Einiger here now with the very latest on these devastating fires. Josh.
Bill, it has been so windy that dropping water from the air has been next to impossible. The need for water on the ground so great, fire hydrants in some places are running out of water. Not that it would help much, with now 5 distinct and voracious wildfires sparing nothing and no one in their path. Today, the hurricane of fire enveloped much of the Southland. California's famous lazy sunshine blocked out by a wall of pitch black smoke as a blizzard of red-hot embers hurtled through the air, potentially igniting whatever they touched. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of homes, lifetimes of memories, destroyed.
We thought we were going to have the opportunity to come back to a home. And this is what we come back to.
The blowtorch of misery fueled uncontrolled infernos in 4 separate parts of Los Angeles County. More than 100,000 people fleeing for their lives, abandoning their cars when they could go no further. And then the cars caught fire. ABC's Matt Gutman was caught in the gridlock himself.
In order for firefighters to actually get to the fires, they had to carve a path.
We got in the car to go, and then all the cars were abandoned, so I had nowhere to go, so I just had to get out of my car and start walking. The smoke is so bad.
Southern California hasn't seen rain since October, and with the region's infamous...
They haven't seen rain since October. They ain't seen no rain since October in LA County. No precipitation. It's like 90 days, like 3 months and some change. It never rains in Southern California. They tell me it never rains in Southern California. How very unfortunate. And it's the reason it don't rain in Southern California. Not because it don't rain, because it's made to not rain. I have no problem with saying out loud, this is weather weapon technology, HARP. Right? This is going to be the excuse that they say we need technology like HARP. Because due to vast droughts in areas like Southern California that lead to brush wildfires, right? We need to regulate the water usage. Or matter of fact, we need to use this technology to make it rain where it normally is not raining, or due to certain environmental, now climate adverse situations. Now we need to use this technology to make water fall where it needs to be. Whole time, meantime, as the Palisades are engulfed in flame, looking like hell on earth. They're not even talking to us about primary water. Y'all remember the show I did on primary water about a year ago? When we talked about, and I broke down to y'all the difference between the secondary water cycle and the primary water cycle. And we're sitting in LA County, which is real close to the Pacific Ocean and has literally millions millions of aqueducts underneath the city that lead to pure, healthy, untapped, messed with primary water. See, we've been tricked into thinking that all water derives from what we are calling the secondary water process, right? Primary water would get rid of all of these fires. They could use the wells of primary water, right, to easily put out all these fires and prevent them from happening through a integrated, fire irrigation system. But see, they don't want us to know about primary water. They want us to keep thinking that water comes from out of the sky. This is what they would rather much us think, that water is coming from out of the sky as a result of when it rains, as the result of the heat from the sun heating up the earth and the atmosphere, causing moisture to become evaporated, which then rises up, collects as moisture or vapor in the air, and when it forms, it gets heavy, they form clouds, and then it rains, and it gets on top of the mountain, and it goes down, creates stream rivers, and all of that bullshit. That's the secondary water process. There's a primary water process as well, which all water comes from underneath the earth's surface. How do you think the oceans got filled up? Or should I say the seas? Right? It's a lot going on, y'all, that they're just not telling us about. Let's go.
Santa Ana winds gusting at times over 100 miles per hour. Firefighters have been largely powerless to stop the onslaught, which, more than a day in, was still 0% contained. Officials say they have the resources for 1 or 2 fires at a time, but not 4.
No, LA County and all 29 fire departments in our county are not prepared for this type of widespread disaster.
Pay attention to that, y'all. They're not prepared for this type of disaster, but they're prepared for massive civil unrest, though. They're not prepared to be able to handle the city infrastructural, right, protocols that may need to be quickly addressed. They're not prepared for that. They're not prepared to. They haven't set up an irrigation system that could possibly prevent such fire from spreading. They don't have an evacuation plan set in motion in the event that wildfires break out in the city of LA. They don't have shelters. They don't have anything set in place that will ensure a speediest possible evacuation of the city to avoid property damage and, at worst, loss of life. Which, according to this news clip, 5 people already confirmed dead, thousands of structures destroyed, thousands. You would think the city of Los Angeles would have some type of contingency plan set in place in the event that a fire happens. They do. They do. But I want y'all to understand that the climate action and resilient plans aren't a set of protocols to follow, right, in order to prevent certain weather events that could possibly happen, right, by adhering to these laws, rules, ordinances, protocols, right, that are being administered by the UN in order to ensure efficient use of the so-called environment, now climate. But no, with the contingency, with the climate action and resilient plans are all about, they're telling us about the list of things right? Considering city infrastructure, that if they're not met, if they're not brought up to par, if they're not brought up to the standard that the UN is administering through the local governments, as a result, these extreme weather events will be a result by way of HARP weather weapons, right? This is what you guys will be hit with. They say experience, but this is the type of weather weapons y'all will be hit with when y'all don't upgrade to the smart grid fast enough. That's what this is all about. When your city infrastructure, when your city doesn't use the money that it has got from the UN in order to implement United Nations Agenda 2030 for global sustainability protocols within your city's infrastructure, which every city through the federal government has sold us out to the UN. Instead of them spending the money to upgrade the infrastructure, they're using it to line their pockets. And as a result, these are the weather events that we're going to experience, weather weapons, as a result. So what we can see going on in California isn't so much an example of miskeeping of the environment or ill use of the climate, as if we have control over the climate, right? But this is a result of our corrupt governments, the local ones, like the city of Los Angeles, taking funds from the UN, which in turn will give the UN, right, some type of influence on how our societies are ran. And when our crooked politicians don't use the money that they receive from the UN to implement the UN's protocols through our local governments, this is the stuff we see. We get hit with the weather weapons. And I'm gonna do a show on that too, man. Yeah, man. Y'all got to be able to see through all of this stuff, man. What we seeing with these fires aren't accidental. They aren't a case of misuse or maintenance of the infrastructure. This is being done on purpose. They spraying all those heavy nanoparticulates in the atmosphere all over the state of California, all over the entire West Coast. All types of heavy metals in the air, in the atmosphere. All of these things are highly combustible. They are highly electric conductive. And as they get sprayed in the air in states like California, where you think it all goes to as it falls to the ground? It settles on the leaves, the trees, the brush, the acres of forestry along the Pacific Coast Highway, where they're being droughted out. So it's extremely dry and brittle. You see how this is what I mean when I say these things are made to happen, meaning that societal infrastructure is affected in a way to where these things could come about. So now we got, for years, we got all this spraying and electrifying irradiation of the atmosphere, specifically in California, what y'all call the CLIM trails. What y'all think they've been spraying? And all of this stuff has just been settling on top of these droughted out wooded areas. So you got these dry rooted trees and forestry and vegetation that's just like fucking Kinder, like, you know, that's like Tinder. You feel me? So when you get a big, huge company like Pacific Gas and Electric that has power lines, gas lines, all throughout the state of California, specifically through big cities like LA, it's the recipe for disaster. A ruptured power line sparked the fire in a droughted out area. This droughted out area has a 1-inch layer of toxic, noxious, highly combustible, inflammable, nanoparticulated metals like borium, strontium, aluminum. So when these conditions combine with high wind, you get wildfires, man. It's a pretty diabolical equation when you think about it. Let's go, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell. I see people ain't tapping in for this one, huh?
We're prepared to do anything and everything as long as it takes to contain these fires and help reconstruct, make sure we get back to normal.
President Biden, who happened to be in California when the fires started, signed a federal disaster declaration. The Department of Defense now sending firefighting assets to help.
Federal disaster declaration? That sounds crazy.
But it's too late for scores of Californians from all walks of life who in many cases lost it all. Nursing home residents, small business owners, even the Hollywood actor James Woods lost his house.
I'm sorry. Just, you know, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But
the last report, more than 1.
Hey, man. Man, oh man. Let me bring this up on the screen, y'all. He said federal disaster declaration. Federal disaster declarations are requested by the governor, granted by the president, and reserved for catastrophic events. A presidential declaration of an emergency or of a major disaster provides access to federal resources for individuals, businesses, and public agencies. Right? I want y'all to understand that when the president declares a state of national emergency, we're under military occupation. So it makes it's no mystery, right, that they're using terminology in the mainstream media like deploy. Once personnel is being deployed, equipment is being deployed, that lets you know that we're under military occupation because they're using this military language. Not to mention, the president already gave Newsom, right, the authority to declare a federal disorder declaration, meaning that the city of Los Angeles is now under military occupation. So don't be surprised if you start seeing the National Guard down there. Don't be surprised. As a matter of fact, we can find out right now. Right? I told y'all. Man. It's just so predictable, man. So predictable. Let's go, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page.
Low over the fires
fire-devastated landscape of Pacific Palisades, carrying water scooped up from the Pacific to be dumped on the still out-of-control fire burning in the hills above. Pacific Palisades is largely a wasteland now, something more resembling a war zone than the affluent neighborhood it was a few days ago. Sue Pasco lost the home of 30 years where she raised her family.
This fire is not going to take my memories away. I'm keeping my memories.
Memories are all that many people have left. The calming winds have given firefighters more optimism. While major blazes remain uncontained, fresh crews are coming in from other states and Canada to help.
Weather conditions are beginning to turn favorably, which will allow us to increase our containment lines.
While many neighbors came together to help one another, the worst of human nature was also evident. Police arrested a number of alleged looters who had been prowling the affected neighborhood.
If people choose to commit crimes, they're going to be held accountable.
The cost of the ongoing disaster is not yet known, but certain to be immense. President Joe Biden says the federal government will help pay.
It's going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all of necessary measures to protect life and property.
Residents of the affected areas have been evacuated, but even when the evacuation orders are lifted, many will return to find their homes and their neighborhoods no longer exist. Some people in this neighborhood are angry, saying that officials weren't prepared despite warnings in advance of severe weather conditions. And they say when firefighters did arrive, there wasn't sufficient water pressure in the hydrants to allow them to extinguish burning houses.
How come there weren't firefighters on my street? How come there weren't water in the hydrants?
Officials defended their effort.
How come? On a normal day of operation of the city, everything is in place in an event that something takes place. Right? And this is why I asked the question that I asked, man, in the poll. Is it natural? Why does it seem like everything that takes place on a regular day of business for the city of Los Angeles concerning the fire department, why does it seem like everything that normally happens was like not happening that day? Yeah, a couple of days ago. Everything that could have went wrong. That lets you know right there that this is an inside job. So when we talk about the conspiracies, man, it's not so much conspiracy, it's a process of elimination. Use your critical thinking, right? Deductive reasoning, right? What are all the things that could have happened to contribute to what happened? What are all the things that could absolutely not have happened in order, or what are all the things that absolutely ain't got nothing to do with this? What are the things involved in this situation that we can not rationally bring to being the cause about what happened? And that's, I'm saying, this is why we got to use our critical thinking, y'all. When they hit us with these stories like this, it bombards our psyche with so much that most of us can't comprehend what's actually going on, right? And we can't understand that although it's a very real situation, people are definitely being evacuated from their homes. The fires is definitely real, burning stuff up. Y'all got to understand how it was made to happen, how the exact environment was created societally to lead up to this happening. Now think about what I said about the chemtrails irradiating the atmosphere, spraying all type of stuff in the atmosphere, making it more connective. Pay attention to that, making it more connective, receptive for frequencies. But man, listen, man, y'all gotta be able to put this stuff together, man. You know, smash that like button, click on subscribe to the page. Let's go.
We also know that fire hydrants are not constructed to deal with this type of massive devastation.
The favorable weather should last a few more days before winds pick up again, forecasters say. And after 8 months of drought, there's no sign of rain in sight. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Pacific Palisades.
8 months of drought. Eight months, y'all. 8 months. Now I know why Tony Tone came up with that song, man. And I wonder why it never rains in Southern California, man. Right? Now think about what's going on out there in California right now in LA, right? Think about all this destruction, right? All these thousands of property damage, thousands of people's homes, right? People being evacuated from their neighborhoods, their communities. Look at all of that, man. Right? All this damage, all this destruction. What do I be talking to y'all about? What do I be talking to y'all about? Think about when I talk to y'all about the mega structures. You got thousands of people forced to leave their homes, their communities that they've been living all their life. All their belongings burnt up, gone, destroyed. Where's the aid going to come for all these hundreds of thousands of people? Millions, if not more people. Where are we going to house them? Where's the money going to come to feed them, clothe them? Most of the places that burnt up in that area are places of business. They literally can't go back to work. What's going to happen? We're talking about thousands of people, talking about tens of thousands of people, y'all. We're talking about 50 to 100,000 people. And think about the immigration situation, specifically in California. Now we got a refugee situation of American citizens. Do y'all have any idea how much of a burden this is about to be? Y'all gotta peep the play, man. Y'all gotta peep the play, man. This stuff is getting serious, man. They pressing the gas full throttle, and they ain't letting up at all.
Where the National Guard is about to deploy. Alex.
Michael, what you're looking at here is the base.
What did I tell y'all, man? What did I tell y'all, man? Man, oh man, listen here. Hold on, let me get a news article, man. Oh, it's already in motion. Yep, the National Guard is being deployed. Right? Now, keep in mind, y'all, I'm telling y'all, man. Right? I'm telling y'all what's going on. Billions, Mr. O, trillions. Lance Parker, what's good, man? Right? I see they ain't sharing this one. Huh? Governor Newsom deploys California National Guard to Los Angeles. Looting will not be tolerated. Right? So at a time where they should be focused on finding out who's missing, who's not accounted for, and coming to the aid and help and rescue of people, human beings who may be trapped in these areas. They are focusing on people who are looting. They deployed the National Guard because the police can no longer handle the level of civil unrest. This is straight out of HR 1955, y'all. Violent radicalization, ideologically based violence, therefore creating homegrown terrorism. You can best believe anybody caught trying to loot, do anything, will be considered a terrorist because you are in an active war zone, which is why they're saying it looks like a war zone. It's because it's a military occupation going on. I want y'all to understand this in LA. My LA brethren and sisters, y'all are currently under a military occupation. The National Guard has been deployed, and they're not there to bring aid to y'all as a result of this fire. They're there to make sure people ain't stealing them corporate folks' shit. That's why they're there. Make no mistake about it. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. This stuff makes me, man, it just makes me upset, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Exactly, Lance Parker. What have I been telling y'all about? The Wildlands Project, human settlement zones, mega structures, mega regions, mega cities, 15-minute cities, smart cities, social credit systems to keep track and trace of everybody. Because right now we don't know where everybody's at in the fire. We can't track everybody to see if everybody get a Neuralink, Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency. If everybody has a Neuralink inside them, we can keep track and tracing them in the event of a wildfire like what's going on in the Palisades right now. Y'all gotta be able to put this together, man. Connect the dots. All right, let's go, man. Listen to some more news clips, man.
Actually located just south of the 10 freeway along Grove. This is the National Guard base that's located out here in the Inland Empire. And I just saw about maybe 15 of these vehicles, these Humvees and different vehicles, basically getting a line as they're going to start a convoy. Now, I spoke to a couple of the National Guardsmen off camera, and they told me that they couldn't give me much information, that they were just being deployed out to the fires, and they were there to provide much needed security. So right now we're taking a look at it as they're kind of lining up here. They're getting ready to just get on their way out in that direction.
When the U.S. military is providing security, that means the area in which they are under a military occupation. This is in direct violation of posse comitatus. OG, what's happening, man? This is a direct violation of posse comitatus. But you know how they're able to do this? Because posse comitatus was basically done away with the Patriot Act. I told y'all the U.S. Patriot Act deemed us American citizens enemy combatants due to the legislation and the laws passed within it, the rules and regulations within it. It basically turned American citizens into enemy combatants. And then we have years later, 6 years later, 7 years later, we get the HR 1955 passed, the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorist Prevention Act, which turned us all, not only see the U.S. Patriot Act deemed us all enemy combatants. Now, as a result of HR 1955 and its protocols and rules and regulations, now we're called homegrown terrorists. because it wasn't able, listen, y'all, they couldn't convince the American people that they could continue to get the okay from us to go to war with countries that they were calling terrorists who wasn't terrorizing us in America. So once that jig was up and we started to see that Saddam Hussein is not a terrorist, Saddam Hussein actually didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Ahmadinejad is actually not as bad as we being made to believe. He actually was using the uranium and his nuclear capabilities to provide power to the people of Iran. You know what I'm saying? Our homeboy out here in Libya, rest in the essence to Muammar Gaddafi, he wasn't a warmonger. He actually did great things when he centralized, nationalized the oil industry and other industries in Libya, which took them off of the gold standard. And was before Gaddafi was brutally taken out, Libya was the wealthiest country in Africa, and it was the most financially, economically advanced and repaired society government in Africa. So, Muammar had to go. He created the man-made river. Free schooling for all women who live in Libya who want to pursue things like being teachers or nurses. But somehow they done convinced us that Muammar Gaddafi was a terrorist. They convinced us that Saddam Hussein was a terrorist. They convinced us that Osama bin Laden was a terrorist when he was one of their homeboys. They're trying to convince us, or they have convinced us, that Assad is a terrorist. My man Bashir. As we see what just happened in Syria. So y'all gotta be able to connect the dots on all this stuff, man. They should be deploying the National Guard in California to go round up the Newsom regime. That's what they should be doing. Go lock Newsom and everybody in his cabinet up because they all involved. They all know what's going on. But no, man, the National Guard is being deployed to LA during fires, wildfires, to police y'all, to make sure y'all ain't stealing they shit. Not to make sure y'all safe, not to make sure y'all have room and board and shelter and food due to the environmental situation going on out there. No, they're there to police y'all, to make sure y'all ain't stealing and shit. Make sure y'all ain't damaging them people's properties who haven't been damaged by the fire. Making sure y'all stay y'all's asses where y'all supposed to stay. Literally creating a firewall for you niggas in LA. Now, this is... Now, as we watch them rebuild LA, let's watch how they rebuild it. Let's watch who rebuilds it. The smart grid is here, man. Watch, we're about to start seeing the mega structures because we gotta think there are literally thousands of people. There's tens of thousands of people who are going to be homeless or who are now homeless as a result of these fires, man. Do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand that right now in LA County, there are literally thousands of people who have been displaced from their homes and neighborhoods, their livelihoods, their well-beings. That lady we just saw in the clip, she said her home of 25 years, all gone. What's the contingency plan for all these people? I don't think the severity of this situation is really sinking in on us, the American people, because we're going to have to foot the bill for this, on top of what we're doing for the illegals. Now, on top of the millions of illegal immigrants who are just inundating our welfare systems throughout the state of California, now we're going to have literally thousands, tens of thousands of American citizens who ain't got nowhere to go, ain't got a place to stay. They cut the water off. Water's supposed to be free. We have a process, right, called the primary water process, that due to the geological movements of the Earth's plates beneath the Earth crust, water vapor is constantly being created due to the end results of tectonic plate movement being the releasing and the mixing of massive oxygen and water and hydrogen, therefore creating billions of cubic tons of water vapor, which then seeps up through the surface through these primary water wells, aqueducts, and constantly is replenishing itself over and over and over forever. We have an unlimited water supply. We have a limitless, never-ending supply of water. But yet and still they make us think that we got to pay for water. Now, how many of y'all heard about the primary water cycle? Right? I'm about to bring up another news clip for y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, man, California is testing ground, man. California is a beta testing ground, right? Yo, Stage Mo, what's happening, man? Right? Man, man, listen, man, I'm praying for my National Guard has been deployed. My brothers and sisters in LA, I want to repeat this to y'all. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm telling y'all what it is so y'all can be clear of the situation that y'all are currently in. If the U.S. military, the National Guard is the U.S. military, it's a branch of the United States military. So if the National Guard is being deployed in your city, that means your city is now under military occupation, which means in essence, y'all are under a state of martial law. And under martial law, the so-called U.S. Constitution can be, and more than likely is, suspended, which is why, due to the Patriot Act, you're an enemy combatant. Now you could be considered a homegrown terrorist if you do not comply with the new set of laws that are being enforced and imposed as a result of these wildfires happening. Because the police don't got no control no more. You got lots of people rioting and looting. Thousands of people looting in the midst of so-called environmental chaos. Like I said, y'all, the National Guard has not been deployed in LA to help people get to safety, give them resources in this trying time. It is solely being deployed to stop people from looting. Y'all under military occupation out there. Technically, we're all under military occupation all over this country. Yeah, I do too, man. I do too, Sage Mo. I was on the phone with my peoples yesterday. I got peoples in San Diego. I got peoples in LA. You know, Bakersfield, all over California. This is a very serious situation. The National Guard has been deployed. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Show some love to your brother, your brethren, your brother, Virgil Berry, aka Stats with the Facts. We are monetized over here at Real Talk. Go ahead, hit that super chat, hit that super like, super thanks, super gift. You did. Tap in, walk with us. Let's go.
towards the fires. One can imagine that at least some of them are going to be going to Altadena, because I was in those neighborhoods yesterday covering the fires. I can tell you.
I'm about to drop the link right now to anybody want to, any of y'all people from California tapping in with me, man. Any of my California brethren and sisters, subscribers, tap in, man. Hit this link. Tell us what's going on real time, man. Y'all boots on the ground right now. Let us know what's going on out there in Cali that they ain't telling us on this news, man. All right. There go the link right there. It's in the chat. It's on the screen. All my California brethren and sisters, tap in. Let us know what's going on. Tell us what they're not telling us on this mainstream media, because we know for a fact they're not telling us actually what's going on. Let's go.
That a lot of residents were easily getting back into the neighborhoods because there just wasn't enough law enforcement and roadblocks to kind of keep everybody out. There's a lot of windy roads up in those areas and a lot of ways in and out just from the side roads. So the National Guard has been deployed out here before. The last mountain fire that I covered out here at Mount Baldy, they were the first line of defense. They were the ones that set up the roadblock, kept people that didn't belong in those areas out of the areas. Even us as media, they made sure they checked our credentials. They asked where we were going to be at, where we're
checking the papers. See how we being desensitized and preemptively programmed on levels that we don't even recognize. It's going to take somebody like me to point this out. See, showing the paper, even the media, even though you got to show your papers. Show us your papers. Show us your paperwork, giving you the authority, giving you the ability, the permission to be out here. When as we're under a military occupation, we have to see your papers to make sure you're not an enemy combatant. Man, y'all better, man, peep the play, man. Exactly. OG, creating checkpoints. Y'all are under a military occupation in LA. But understand this, y'all. Understand what it means when you are under a military occupation. That means the Constitution, right? That means the law of that land, which is really the law of the sea, is currently suspended. Now we're under maritime, judicial, international law, military law, which means that the local state government no longer has jurisdiction because it's been deemed a national emergency, a declaration of national emergency. Only the president, the commander-in-chief, head of the army can do this. Y'all don't, we've been taught all this stuff, but we can't connect the dots. Y'all don't peep the play? And now we got a wartime president like Trump in office. And his homeboy, Elon Musk, is the head of the very department that is going to oversee situations like this. What type of stuff y'all think they're going to be handling over there at the Department of Government Efficiency? Smash that like button, man. Listen, man. Listen, my brothers and sisters in LA, understand what's actually going on, y'all.
They even took a look inside my news van when I went up to cover that fire. They wanted to check the back of it, see what was with me, who was with me. So
see, they're going to use everything that I tell y'all is happening, man. They're going to use the mainstream media to destroy the mainstream media. This guy is a member of the media. He had to show his papers to the military because the local police can't handle this level of civil unrest or potential civil unrest due to the amount of looting, thousands of people looting. They're not reporting or showing us what's actually happening. This is why I want my LA brethren and sisters to tap in. If you're tapping in and hit that link, let us know what's going on. What's really happening, boots on the ground in LA and surrounding area. Because in case y'all didn't know, my Los Angeles brethren and sisters, y'all are now currently under military occupation. It is a war zone in y'all city. And the enemy combatants is y'all. If y'all not obeying the curfew that they set in place. If you're outside when you're not supposed to be. If you're not doing what they tell you to do, you putting yourself subject to the scrutiny of the U.S. military. Because you guys are under a military occupation. The National Guard, which is a branch of the military, has been deployed in LA. They're setting up checkpoints, like my brother OG said. They're checking papers to make sure you are who you are, say you are, or claim to be. And I guarantee you they got drones all up in the sky watching everything. Because they got the drones watching the progression of and procession of the fire. Right? Another reason why I be on what I be on over here at April Talk Podcast is why I talk about the stuff I talk about. All right. They ain't making this one famous. This probably ain't gonna get shared too much. The notifications for this one ain't being sent out. Right? Pay attention, man, to what's actually happening. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page. If you want to come up and add to this, my brethren and sister from California, from LA, if y'all tapping in, hit the link. You're more than welcome to come up. Keep us informed. Let us know what's actually going on. That's the reason why we have these shows, man. The military, via the National Guard, has been deployed in LA, which means y'all are currently under military occupation, which means it is a war zone. Yes, it is. Let's go.
Well, this is kind of what one can imagine is going to take place here. The National Guard being deployed here out of Ontario isn't something that we haven't seen before, but it's definitely something that we don't always see when fires occur, especially out here in the Inland Empire or along the foothills.
So due to what this guy just said, the National Guard isn't usually deployed in the event of these wildfires, which are quite, I'm going to say normal, but quite regular occurring thing in this region especially. So the cops, basically what I got from that is they're not really concerned about certain things because, you know, they're used to this type of stuff. But now that we got all these illegals, we got to be checking people's papers because we don't know who these people are. People are looting. In the midst of wildfires, you got people looting. I wonder who these people are. Because the pictures I saw didn't look like white folks, didn't look like black folks. You know? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Share on your social engineer, man. Niggas up there is getting some shit. Let me find out y'all looting up there, man. See, it's already happening, man. Right? What y'all know about this? What y'all know about this? This is what's going on out there too. This is wild right here, man. So you got people out here. This is a very affluent area, right? You got people out here hiring private firefighters, right? Mm, 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 mm. Wow. Right. What you said, one man say. So I think the first fire started off natural, then the rest was caused by man. That's an opportunity because this isn't most of the celebrity homes that burned on the Epstein list. Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. All right. Right. And look what they got to say about the people, all the people who houses being burned up. How they going to be compensated for this, man? Let's go.
Prohibiting insurance companies from enacting non-renewals and cancellations of coverage for certain fire-affected homeowners.
Yeah, this applies to anyone who lived within the perimeters or adjoining zip codes of the Palisades and Eaton fires, regardless of whether they suffered a loss. So breaking news right there. Meanwhile, today, Democrat Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas announced new legislation he says will help fire victims.
That comes on the same day Republicans are calling on their Democratic colleagues to end the governor's special session aimed at fighting President-elect Donald Trump. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace has more.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for protecting our communities.
The state Senate beginning the day with a standing ovation for first responders on the front lines of the fires in Southern California.
I think the residents of LA County need to hear the state Senate loud and clear. We have your back.
And in the state assembly, its leader, Speaker Robert Rivas, sharing this.
The most important question for us right now, and for me, is how can we help?
That's why Rivas says lawmakers in his are in the process of authoring new legislation he says will assist fire victims, including one bill to expedite insurance claims for impacted homeowners. It comes amid California's home insurance crisis. In the last year and a half, 7 of the 12 major home insurance companies in California, including Allstate, State Farm, and Farmers Insurance, have either limited their business within the state or in some cases stopped selling new policies altogether for homeowners living in some of California's most fire-prone areas. That resulted in some Californians struggling to find any insurance coverage at all, a key requirement to carry a mortgage for a home. For their part, insurance companies have said they have no other choice but to pause or stop selling policies out of concerns they could face huge losses should a major disaster like a wildfire destroy homes in at-risk communities.
This has been an ongoing crisis for the state of California, exacerbated now. We will be working with staff and many of my colleagues to ensure we don't have a collapse of the insurance market in California.
Just minutes before Rivas held this press conference, his Democratic colleagues in the Assembly moved forward with Governor Gavin Newsom's special session aimed at allocating $25 million in state funding to help California Attorney General Rob Bonta fund future lawsuits against the Trump administration. When asked whether the special session should be put on hold while the fires rage in Southern California, Rivas did not directly answer, but he did say this.
At this moment, my colleagues and I, we are acting with great urgency to ensure that we're providing much needed relief to Angelenos.
Republicans responding, calling on Democrats to drop their current special session and instead start a new one specifically on fire relief and prevention.
To me, this is a no-brainer. This special session that we currently opened needs to be shut down immediately, and we need to refocus completely on wildfire. Probably the impending insurance crisis that is to come as a result of this. We have so much bigger issues right now that we really need to tackle. We need to focus on than paying government lawyers to sue Donald Trump.
Meantime, the governor's special legislative session.
Way more important stuff to be focused on than trying to convict Trump or whatever he's allegedly being convicted or charged with. All right. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. right? Like I said, the National Guard has been deployed in California not to help the people, not to bring aid to the people, but to make sure the people ain't stealing shit. Right? So shout out to the state of California via the Trump administration incoming passed this moratorium will prohibit insurance companies from enacting non-renewals and cancellations until January 7, 2026. In a statement, Lyra said this rule applies to all homeowners within the perimeters or adjoining zip codes of the two fires in Los Angeles County, regardless of whether they suffered a loss. Right? Let me put this up on the screen. Right? The moratorium will prohibit insurance companies from enacting non-renewals and cancellations until January 7, 2026 of next year. In a statement, Lyra said this rule applies to all homeowners within the perimeters of adjoining zip codes of the two fires in Los Angeles County, regardless of whether they suffered a loss or not. Right? And you see what my man Lance Parker had to say, man. FEMA. Where are all these people who lost thousands of properties, y'all? Literally thousands of properties. Where are they going to house all these now homeless American citizens? Where they going to go? I keep trying to tell y'all what's about to happen, man. Right? I keep trying to tell y'all what is about to happen in our country, man. Y'all think that I'll be making this stuff up, man. Right? What can we be on the lookout for, man? What is going to be a result of all of this stuff going on? I talk to y'all about this stuff all the time, and I'm not letting up. Mega City 1. Can you imagine living in, this is all one city? 800 million people living in this area. But this is what we can look forward to right here. The mega structures. The tallest buildings you see are residential. No, I ain't seen that one, Sazmo. I've seen a lot of other stuff, very disturbing stuff. All right. Now, this is the stuff I'll be talking about, y'all, when I talk about mega cities, mega regions, mega structures. This is going to be the result, or this is going to be the suggested solution for situations like what's taking place in California and LA right now, as we speak. This ain't 20 years in the future. This ain't some date that's so far ahead. It's not. No, this is now, y'all. This is right now. Where are all these people going to go? What are they going to do with all of the immigrants, illegal immigrants? Right? Think about this. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do with them? Mega structures. let me take it a little bit further for y'all, right? In the movie Ready Player One, it was set in guess what city? Columbus, Ohio, my city. Right? Ready Player One was set in Columbus, Ohio, where Faraday based the Oasis. Y'all gotta peep the play, man. Cortez Cuz was good. Yeah, man, this is stuff that all us been in a plan. We got the mega structures from the movie Dread, right? Now in the movie Ready Player One, which is based in my city, Columbus, Ohio, now we have this in Ready Player One. Oddly enough, the United Nations called this type of housing stack 'em, pack 'em housing. In the movie Ready Player One, this region of the city was called the Stacks. So this is why I tell y'all to pay attention to these movies, man. These movies are telling us what's going on. Right? Ready Player One, y'all. Don't y'all hear me reference this movie all the time? You think it's a coincidence that the movie Ready Player One is based in Columbus, Ohio? The movie Ready Player One is displaying a lot of what is designed for our future society: human brain computer interfacing, stack 'em, pack 'em housing, assigned housing, mega structures, mega regions. In the movie Ready Player One, Columbus, Ohio is the largest and fastest growing city on earth, where literally millions of people live. All the agendas or the protocols of UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability are on display in movies like Dread, movies like Ready Player One. This is why I tell y'all to go check these movies out, right? So what they got planned for our brothers and sisters in LA who have been completely burnt out of their homes, right? Hold on real quick, y'all. My fault, y'all. I had to answer that phone call real quick. You know? Right? So this is the stuff that I be telling y'all about that I want y'all to be aware of, man. Nobody want to come up, it's all good. You know, I'm gonna, y'all cool, y'all ain't gotta come up if y'all want to. But I wanted to do this show, man, to just put on display, man, and break some things down, man, and connect some dots for y'all. This is all part of these people's plan. You hear me? What's going on in California was absolutely made to happen. When I say made to happen, I mean the societal situations individually are caused to happen to allow the environment for something like this to happen if needed be. It's the same play they ran in the 1800s and early 1900s, burn cities and towns down, then rebuild. That's how they're going to set up 15 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's my whole point. And LA ain't going to be the only city. LA is not going to be the first or the only city to experience this. You'll have to understand that a new global power structure is coming to fruition. And in order for it to be set on a global status, America has to go. Which is why we're seeing the destruction of our society from within. My brother Sage Mo, what's happening, man?
Oh yeah, man. I'm hoping you can hear me, can't you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. They this is something they had to force because you know what I mean. If you lose everything, man, think about it. They can come in and then I think they're gonna rebuild the fit all them spots that got burnt down. Look at the location. They're gonna build a 15-minute city, and that's where people gonna have to go to that lived over there. But I think they got a plan to do that everywhere. You know what I mean? Different, you know what I mean, different ways. So it looks like it was a so it looked like it was a natural occurrence that helped you out because they purposely built a lot of these places on, you know what I mean, places that can be a disaster, like the places where they know it's gonna flood, like where they put the dam up, and sooner or later the water fills up, so it's gonna flood anyway. Sooner or later, 1 year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I got some, I got a boy I remember because you know I was born in Sacramento, right? And I remember I went back to visit like in '05, and I told my boy about it. He went there and moved to LA, but I ain't talked to him since like 2021. Like I dropped my phone at work, had to get a new Facebook and all that. He had one of them California numbers, man. I couldn't remember it. And he don't do the face. So I've been, and you know, I got some family over there, you know what I mean? And it's a lot of people, man, when they move out there, man, like they stack their bread and move out there, man, they don't be wanting to kind of let go. Cause there ain't no way when I know it's a fire burn, I'm still sticking around there trying to weather that storm. You know what I mean? Same thing that be happening in Florida and all that, man. People be thinking they can weather the storm and all that. Now look at this shit, man. And then I think that they had I don't know if you think they was some Hispanics setting some fires. They arrested one dude.
I won't be surprised. Now, this is what
Yeah.
I've been telling y'all about for I don't know how long, man. I'm going to keep talking about this. This is the projected map of the United Nations, United States, as well as the World Health Organization and the International Monetary Fund conjunction projected map of how they want to divvy up the United States under the Wildlands Project.
Oh yeah, hold
All
on.
the
Keep that up.
areas you see in green on this map are what are called human settlement zones.
Yeah, keep that
All
up
right.
for a minute. I want to take a screenshot.
Yeah, you ain't even got to do that. You can just write down Wildlands Project. Just type that in your Google search and Wildlands Project.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
Wildland?
Yeah,
Wildland?
Wildlands Project. Just type that in your Google search engine and hit the images, and all type of these maps will pop up.
Yeah, I think that and when it comes to the other, because remember, over there on the west, that was the way the original people had it. They could live there, you know, because that's really a desert over there, you know, west and southwest of the country. But you remember they put they also put them on they built a lot of these on floodlands. So you know it's a doomsday, a billionaire doomsday flood map. You know what I mean? They got a lot of shit. Like where we at, you said you up there in Ohio, I'm up there in Michigan. So like up there kind of flooded in Florida, and you know, it's a lot of shit flooded, but that comes after because it's supposed to be okay. You got what happened in California. I think whoever in California need to just leave for about a year, maybe two, man, because if something happened to that Andreas fault line, you know what I mean, it's gonna be a disaster. Then you still got Yellowstone that can blow up. And then after them two, that's when the third gonna be that flood and shit. Now when all this happened, then they can put 15-minute cities everywhere because everybody already had information in the receipts about a 15-minute city. Ain't nobody gonna move there unless forced after you see the layout.
Right. When
Because
y'all look
because
at this
remember
map,
they talking about giving you like 4, 5, or 6 passes to leave outside the city. For a while, like when you want to take a vac, you can't just take a vac. Even if you got the dough, you just when you living in those, you just can't leave when you want to. You know that, don't you?
right?
You got
Yeah.
you get like, and then I think over time I think you can purchase the tickets to leave. It ain't like I gotta buy a plane ticket. I'm finna buy a bus ticket to leave. No, I gotta have one of those tickets, and then
Yeah, my man Sage don't need to get his signal together over there. But yeah, like my man Sage said, man, they setting up these 15-minute cities, mega cities, human settlement zones. Look at this map. This map, everywhere where you see it's green at, this is what they have. They're calling human settlement zones, significantly designated areas where humans can stay and have normal human activity. All the areas you see in red and yellow throughout this whole map are designed for little to no human contact or human movement whatsoever. And look at the areas where they got the most red bits at. The red bits and the yellow bit, the red bits are designed for no human presence at all whatsoever. The yellow is highly regulated, which means you'll probably be like working assignment. Remember I tell you all about assigned employment? They got the whole country already divvied up, man. And they want most of us to be centralized in this corridor right here from Mexico, Texas, United States going into Canada, which they calling the NAFTA superhighway. Right? This is why we're being forced into cities. And these 15-minute cities, wildland projects, the wildland projects. Look up the map. Just put in your Google search and just type in the wildland projects or type in wildland project. And just go to the images and you'll see a lot of these maps. And they'll show you how they want to divvy up America, how they're going to. All the areas on this map that you see in red are areas that they don't want any human presence whatsoever. The yellow bits is highly regulated human presence. And the green parts are where they want to have what they're calling human settlement zones, mega regions, mega cities, filled with mega structures. The gray areas are militarized zones or where the military will be. This dark line you see along the coast, that's the wall that's going to separate Mexico, Central South America from North America, Canada, United States combined. This is why they're talking about making Canada the 51st state. My Lord, man. Y'all hear about that? They want to make Canada the 51st state. Look at this map right here. My fault, y'all. Right? It's right there on the screen for you. Right? Wildlands Project. And as y'all see, all the parts in this map that are green are for normal use. All the parts that are red, little to no human use. And all the yellow parts is a highly regulated, which I want to say, I'm going to chalk that up to assigned employment where you will be working. Right? You did? Smash that like button, right? Subscribe to the page, man. I keep telling y'all what's happening. Right? Every place where you see it's red at. Little to no human use. Now look in the areas of the maps. Look on the areas of this map where we see where massive environmental situations happen. Look what's happening in the area of where the Palisades is at on this map. You see a lot of red in this area where the Palisades fire is at. That lets you know there's not going to be a lot of human use in this area. Notice you don't see a lot of green on the West Coast. Notice you don't see a lot of green on the West Coast. You see a lot of green in this Texas region going up into the Midwest, because this is the NAFTA Superhighway, the NAFTA Super Corridor, or the NAFTA Highway Corridor. This is where most of the human settlement zones will be, sprawled out on the Midwest and the Southeast. Right? Y'all got to pay attention to what's going on, man. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all, since nobody want to come up. When my man Sagebro came up, we're about to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all know I don't want to drag these shows out too much longer, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. You understand what I'm saying, y'all, man? Listen, man. Stay aware, man. We're going live later on the night, Friday night wrap up. I'm about to print up the post for it right now. Tap in with us, 9 o'clock tonight. We going in, man. We got so much stuff to talk about tonight. But y'all make sure y'all go inform yourselves on what happened in Paradise, California back in 2017, 2018. Very similar situation. We're going to ride out to this E&E again, man. Up in smoke, man. Shout out to my brother Glitch the Guarantee, Rain Man. Nauseous the Sickness. Let's go.
Yeah. Glitch the Guarantee. 2020 got me so clear. Let me get to it. Glitch, nigga, for shit I do on these beats, nigga, I'm legendary. Niggas get to acting like bitches, okay, they Tyler Perry. Hide the women and kids, shit about to get very scary. Sticky bandits, freak while you home alone like Marvin Harry. Up in smoke for real, nigga, I'm blowing heavy. Rolling up be all that I need, it be my method Mary. All my niggas be locked and loaded, we mercenaries. Type of gas I got in this blunt will make your vision blurry. I'm in the clouds a lot, I make the pilots worry. Turns out the shit is my fight song, like Katy Perry. Ready for war, soon as I hit the door. I'm ballin', nigga, I'm Kobe as soon as I hit the floor. Taking every shot, shoot that bitch till I score. Hall of Fame bars, I'm Barry Sanders and more. The way I spit this shit, you niggas better take note. The guarantee, when you see me, know I'm up to smoke. Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
I ain't trying to hear that BS. Please spare me a lecture. I was made to be a diamond because I was born out of pressure. My dad was a G, but the drugs got the best of them. Some grind on their own while others might invest in you. Just long as you plant the seed and grow it like a vegetable. Everything will happen when it's supposed to, like a schedule. Every day I thank God you try to add another decimal. A pretty face is cool, but I need an intellectual. Making moves in silence really speaks to how highest decibels. They always said the loudest in the room was the biggest fool. When I go up in the booth, close my eyes and see the visual. Not butcher boys, but trust me, it's about to get critical. Chunks, yeah, we slid a few, knocked them off casually. You claim you on my level, but really that's a fallacy. You still waiting on handouts, that's such a travesty. You're not even amongst my stars, let alone the galaxy.
Here's a lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
Sick positioning, running shit commissioning. You ain't seeing us, not sure what you're envisioning. We still winning, you in danger and it's imminent. Bunch of sticks outside, walking like we picketing. E&E, on fire, man, we sizzling. Leave the scene flickering, damn, they're sickening. No witnesses, damn, all that soliciting. We pack a rainstorm, man, you niggas drizzling. Still riding hot like cars, no air conditioning. Yeah, still blowing loud pack while you whispering. Handicap flow, leave them crippling. Sick discipline, all that mob penmanship. How you rate your bars? Insignificant. I stand behind my bars like imprisonment. Glitch the guarantee 2020 C division. There's nothing to lose if you always win.
Here's a lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.